Hello guys, so welcome back to the crew Waldron, driving our cars, part number 59. Slightly getting towards the end with 83 parts upcoming. Lotus Exige, that's what we are looking at here. We're slightly going to go British now. This is one of those cars. It only comes with a performance spec. There are a couple of those in the game, like the previous videos we tested a couple of Lamborghinis. Also those kinda come with a performance spec and a drift spec. This one does not have a drift spec, which is kinda unfortunate, because I think it would be a pretty good one if they did bring some for this one. This car is, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty good, I can tell you that right now, but it is a bit tricky to drive in somehow, although it all goes smooth in and even the cockpit view not that bad. This is a full stock though. The Lotus Exige, which is kinda, I don't know what it is. In the beginning when they released it I thought it was like an Elise with a hard top. But now it's sorta, well, a model on its own, I guess. Although they share a lot of parts and engines and things like that. The Elise. But there's no Elise in this game because, well, there are no convertibles in this game. We have gotten the MX-5, but that you can put it soft top or hard top, but you can't make it into a roadster or a convertible. Just not in the game yet. And maybe none of them ever will come. I was driving towards the airport, but thought, well, let's fast travel. It goes a bit faster. And all of a sudden, it looks to appear, at least, to have another color, which is not the case, but it's, yeah. It's a Bonneville and raining, and then you get, I don't know, strange things with the cars. Completely different look suddenly, at least color wise. Performance spec. Going down the list. A bit more aggressive look, some carbon here and there. But it's not that big and it's small and yeah. And it's wheel spinning a bit, first gear at least. Might be the surface on the Bonneville. They only spin wheels in first gear doesn't necessarily means that it's gotta be a problem. We will see that later. Performance spec doing most of them around 340 on the finish here. This one goes smoothly over 350. And that is, although it only has a performance spec, it is usable in this game. More than Italian qualifiers or something like that. They often come up with British qualifiers. which means you're kind of restricted to Lotus, McLaren, TVR, cars like that. And for a speed trap event, yeah, it's a bit of an issue sometimes which car to use. Depends a bit on the track. But this thing comes into play for speed trap because it has a pretty high top speed. The acceleration though, 23.5 is well, above average, but there are a lot of those 23.5 or somewhere in that area. Top of performance can do 22 seconds, and we still have to test the Huayra, which I am expecting to be the fastest. Those cars which are considered to be the better or the best specs in performance, in circuit, in whatever, they tend to do amongst the fastest times on the mild rack that I'm testing there. It was so with the street Skyline, street spec. It was also with the rough in dirt spec, and it probably will be the same with the Pagani in performance spec. We will see that in one of the next videos. I'm doing this series sort of in alphabetic order. I only stepped away from it for a second when I encountered the first car which had a drag spec. And then I changed the order because then I have been doing the cars that had the drag spec first, so that I could test all those drag spec on the same track, which could have given a better idea to compare those. But once I've done those 10 cars that have a drag spec, I went back to the alphabetic order, which makes us end up with Lotus here in part number 59. ...410 kilometers an hour, and no, we are not in the circuit spec, we are in a performance spec. The highest that I've seen on that section from a performance car, we had a 405 or 406 in the Ferrari, I think, one of the Ferraris, I'm not sure. Around 400 is good on that section. If you go over it, then you are dealing with one of the better top speeds in a certain spec, in this case performance. Streets will do around 365 on that downhill, and circuits 420, 425, something like that. But 410 is pretty high for... don't think we did 410 with any of the performance specs there. Other than that, yeah, well, it slides a bit too much. It slides about, it's easy to correct though, and you quickly go around in this thing. So if the qualifier is British and you need something fast, you're always, the same for speed trap events, you're always going to be a battle between the McLaren F1 and this Lotus Exige. And surprisingly, the F1 is a bit wider and a bit longer, and yeah. Some people don't really like to drive this car, although it is British-wise probably the best, but it definitely has its use. Speed trap or British qualifier, this comes into play, or the McLaren F1. Depends a bit on the track. And for time attacks, you're probably gonna end up with this one as well in a British qualifier. So yeah, definitely not a bad car. Don't think it's, well, for some it will be top 5 in performance, for others only top 10, but it is up there somewhere in the better performance specs. I'll see you guys in the next one, and bye for now.